Controversial sports anchor Jemele Hill returning to ESPN after saying she deserved to be suspended. Tracy Carrasco has more details on that story and more. Tracy?
Good morning, Dagan. Yes, Hill will go back to work today. The anchor coming off a 2-week suspension for Twitter tirades where she called President Trump a white supremacist and telling followers to boycott Dallas Cowboy advertisers. Listen to what she told TMZ.
After my Donald Trump tweets, I deserve that suspension. I deserved it. Like,
wow.
Absolutely. Like, I violated the policy. I deserve that suspension.
Now, although she told TMZ she deserved the suspension, she said she won't take back what she said. Meanwhile, days after the NFL declined to change its rule on the national anthem, about 24 players protested around the league on Sunday. The protesting players took a knee, sat on the bench, stayed in the tunnel, or raised a fist. Now, that number is significantly down from September 25th, when 200 players protested after President Trump said players should be fired for protesting during the national anthem. And Justin Timberlake is going to be headlining Super Bowl 52, the halftime show. This will be Timberlake's third time performing on the Super Bowl stage, more than a decade after the infamous wardrobe malfunction during his performance with Janet Jackson in 2004. He's making the most appearances by an individual entertainer ever. And speaking of the Super Bowl, last night's game looking like a rematch between the New England Patriots and the Atlanta Falcons. In the second quarter, Tom Brady hands off to Brandon Cooks, who wisely follows 6'6" Ron Gronkowski for the 11-yard touchdown. Patriots go up 7-0. Final seconds of the half, Brady pump fakes and then connects with James White for the 2-yard touchdown. Patriots up 17-0 at the half, and you could have shut it off there. Patriots go on to win 23-7.
Speaking of fists in the air, you're doing a little fist in the air over your Patriots win.
I watched the whole game, and by the way, they gave Brady on that little pitch. They said that was a TD pass, not a run.
Which is unbelievable.
So it was like a 6-inch pass.
That's the worst thing I've heard of since the tuck rule.
You know, why not pad your stats?
Unbelievable. Of course it would go to Brady's stat line. I mean, let's do another tuck roll play. This is a Vikings kind of area over here. I'm going to convert Kalen, so a couple of 5-2 teams maybe will meet you in the Super Bowl this year.
That would be a great thing.
They've never won one, so you could give us one of yours if you don't mind.
I have no issue with that.
The Redskins play the Eagles tonight.
That's
Number one and number
game.
2 in the division, and we like being in the division with the Giants this season because, well, they've won one. They're 1-6.
Tough weekend for New York
Seahawks.
fans.
Yeah.
Tough weekend.
That Seahawks game was terrible.
Giants, Knicks, Yankees. Being a Boston guy, I'm not going to say where my heart was, but it was a tough weekend for my family away from me.
I bet.
I love that.
Tough with the Yankees.
Do you think that, real quick, do you think this NFL protest dies down?
Listen, I think that when there's a good game on TV like last night, Falcons-Patriots, the world's watching. I think it dies down, and I think people get re-engaged. I mean,
it depends how it's handled. I mean, Goodell came out and kind of said, well, we'd prefer if they stand, but they don't have to. You know, it's about how this is going to be mitigated from the standpoint of how they address what the players really want to get the point across. I mean, that's the problem here.
As you said, one of the Cowboys, raised his fist, and I didn't hear Jerry Jones say anything. So it will be interesting to see if there's anything happens to that
that goes
player.
back to the '68 Olympics and the famous with our athletes standing on the podium, 2 of our athletes raising their fists in the air. So that's a little bit of a different gesture that people aren't as quick to attack.
To Colonel West's point earlier, I don't think Trump needs to, President Trump, excuse me, I don't think he needs to spend his time on the NFL.
I will make a bet right here. $20 says that President Trump tweets about that this morning. We'll keep you posted on that. Thank you so much, Tracy. Tracy Carrasco still ahead.